Robert Kennedy III. I am speaking to you today from Los Angeles, and I want to acknowledge this land was once inhabited by the Tongva people, Native Americans from Southern California. So I'm sitting here today, and I just watched a video of my grandfather visiting the Navajo, and, I'm just thinking about how hard COVID-19 has been for the First Nation population of this country. My grandfather was adopted into the tribe under the name Braveheart. I myself was initiated into the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation under the name White Buffalo Boy. But, really what I'm talking about is the way that my grandfather chose to amplify Native American voices in his 1968 presidential campaign. He visited the reservations. He was abhorred by the lack of running water, and it's sadly situations very similar to what almost 35% of the 175,000 residents of the Navajo Nation are still living like today, without basic needs like plumbing. And it's probably why the virus hit them so disproportionately. I think if my grandmother and my grandfather 50 years later saw that this was still going on, he would be pissed off, and righteously so. Now I first learned about the struggles of the Navajos, or the Diné people as they refer to themselves as, last year when I was shooting a movie in Silverton, Colorado, near the Four Corners. It's a crazy old mining town. I was making a movie about Hunter Thompson running for sheriff of Aspen, and his spirit is still alive in those places. Anyway, that was pre-pandemic, so not really the reason I'm talking to you today. But, a lot of us just need help, and a lot of people want to help, but don't really know how, not just post-COVID, but I think we're sort of in the middle of this reawakened quest for some semblance of social and racial justice in America. So anyway, all this energy that we've kind of been putting out there led me to bump into leaders like Anna Rondon, who's the founder of our Indigenous Lifeways. It's a non-profit, woman-led cooperative dedicated to this thing called the McKinley Mutual Aid, and it's based near Gallup, New Mexico. So Anna introduced me to the Navajo Water Project, which is a community-managed, Indigenous-led utility alternative that brings hot and cold water to homes without access to water or sewage lines, essentially. So the project has already installed 300 off-grid home water systems in the most remote parts of New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. Basically what they do is they install a 1,200-gallon underground water tank at the residence so it doesn't get too hot, connect it to basic plumbing inside the home. If the house isn't on the power grid, they throw some solar panels down, and with that, they can do everything for about $4 or $5 grand, depending on the solar panels. So it's obviously an incredibly important thing to do. Right now they're running gallon jugs of water just in pickup trucks out to these people, and it's just very uncertain and difficult, and the pandemic has complicated things, and winter is coming. Anyway, maybe like me, you believe that America is in a rare, powerful moment of reckoning, one of my favorite words. It seems clear that this country cannot continue to ignore gaps of injustice going on within our Black and Indigenous communities. We can't just keep applying Band-Aids to this deep-seated, systematic repression and racism. And maybe, like me, you've resolved to take more personal responsibility for this new future. Obviously I'm a Kennedy. Nobody ever had to explain to me that I was born in privilege, and just hearing myself say it sounds a little silly, but I'm just, I'm reckoning with it myself, let's put it that way. But I think, the decision to try to do whatever I can to amplify these voices and, fundraise for them is just my way of honoring my grandfather's legacy. So I think just look it up. Look up that website, ourindigenousLifeways.org. Look it up right now. They're restoring dignity, self-sustainability, and basic human needs to communities on the reservations. I know BIPOC activists feel the responsibility of their ancestors, and I know my grandfather and Hunter Thompson too would appreciate this message and any support we can offer. Just visit ourindigenousLifeways.org. Just visit ourindigenousLifeways.org. Just visit ourindigenousLifeways.org to find out more and get details of how to help. I know there's a lot of work to do, but I can't think of a better place to start. Signing out, Bobby.